even though you tackle the stressors and you meet the deadlines and you deliver the reports and you take care of the people in your family, check, 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 still the stress is stored in your body. There is a way to stop burnout. There is a way to reverse burnout. There is a way to prevent even burnout. And that's what we're going to discuss today. I'm talking about burnout and at the same time about perfectionism all the time, because burnout is the result of perfectionism. Anxiety is the result of perfectionism. Depression is the result of perfectionism. And when you connect the dots, you will realize how changing this mindset, we can also change the way we experience stress, and eventually we can avoid or recover from burnout. Another thing that I would also like to say is that burnout is not only because of perfectionism, it stems big time because of this self-sabotaging negative mindset. But at the same time, it's a multi-factored outcome. It comes from different sources of stress and maladaptive coping mechanisms and pressure. So when we map all these areas in our life that need change, then we can reverse it. But today I want to talk about 3 traps that can lead or even enhance how we experience burnout. My name is Vassia, in case you're here for the first time. In case you're not here for the first time, thank you very much for being here again and watching my videos. It makes big difference to me. I love your questions, I love your comments, and I love supporting you and helping you with dealing with stress and burnout and any other mental health struggle. There are 3 hidden traps. What is it that we do and enhance the chances of experiencing burnout in a more upsetting, in a more frustrating, in a more draining way? Because burnout is being drained mentally and physically and emotionally because of all the sources of stress and triggers and stressors that happen in our lives. The first hidden trap is, and this is something that I've seen so many times, I've worked with so many people who have reached this level of burnout, and they always admit that in the beginning or until they were ready to start facing their burnout, they were actually minimizing the symptoms. They would feel tired, but then they would blame the weather, they would blame maybe work, they would blame a specific situation that was happening at that point in their life, and they would just put it aside. So minimize the symptoms, minimize our feelings is something that we very often do. And we have very good reasons to do so. We have learned that you have to be strong, or maybe there were other people depending on us and we couldn't let go of helping them. Or maybe we didn't want to show to our workplace that we are struggling because our career would simply be at stake. And I've also heard that. I don't want my manager to know that I'm struggling, because that would change a lot about the way they're dealing with me, or the way that they are promoting my projects, or the way that they're collaborating with me. So I don't want them to know. So we learn how to minimize the symptoms for a valid reason. I'm not saying that this is something we do out of stubbornness or denial. We have a good reason. However, we're here because we want to prioritize again our mental health. No matter what happens out there, no matter what people expect from us, no matter what their opinion or impression would be for us, we still want to protect our mental health first. So what do we say? What we usually say when we minimize the symptoms? We usually say something like, it's temporary, it's going to go away, just don't pay attention to it, it will go by itself. Or maybe we think that of temporary solutions. For example, maybe I need a weekend off, maybe we need some holidays, maybe I'm going to take a sick leave for a couple of days, I'm going to be okay. Usually we think that some specific habits might help, like, for example, being a lot on social media, being on your phone for a long time. We think that that's helping with decompressing from stress. because we're not working, because we're not thinking about work. Well, it helps, right? Actually, it doesn't. I've talked about it in a previous video. What happens to our brain because of burnout is a huge structural change that is happening to our brain. And the brain shuts down because it cannot take any more burden, any more information. So when you think that you're on your phone and you think that you're resting, actually you're not, because your brain still processes millions pieces of information while you are watching videos and TikTok reels and whatever. And you think that this is funny or you think that it's okay, still your brain is working overtime. We minimize it, and we have many ways to do that, either to what we say to ourselves, either to what we say to other people, either through our habits. The second hidden trap is when we are working through our stress about work. So we think that we are going to minimize or lower the stress that we're experiencing by working more. And the connection we make is that I have stress because I have a lot of work. So if I work and I finish my to-do list or my tasks or all the things that I want to do for my work or for other people, then I'm not going to have stress. Correct? Not correct. Because stress is the physiological shift that happens to our body because of all the stressors. So even though you tackle the stressors and you meet the deadlines and you deliver the reports and you take care of the people in your family, check, still the stress is stored in your body. Your body is still performing under the condition of stress. So working through your stress is not a solution. We need different coping mechanisms for dealing with stress than for dealing with work. That's a different thing. And the third one is not talking about what we experience, not asking for help. This is what we do. And you see, in all of these three, perfectionism is very visible or very obvious there. We want to keep the facade, we are strong, we have it all together, we don't need any help, we are here for others. We don't want them to suffer because of us. So we maintain this image that we have created for the outside world. And that's the trap number 3 that I'm talking about, not asking for help, not talking about it. We're not talking to our manager. We're not talking even to a partner. We're going home. We are watching TV for hours. When our partner wants more connection, wants to talk about something, we complain and we say, I'm tired. I just need to zone out a little bit and rest, right? Just give me a break. And then we don't talk about the stress. We don't talk about the symptoms. We don't talk about our worries. We don't talk about that. And you know why I put it into the traps of burnout? Because we think that not talking about it will make it go away, but actually we're spending extra energy suppressing your feelings, suppressing your symptoms or your experiences is extra energy. We are putting extra energy in order to push it away and not have it in front of us and not do anything about that and not talk about it with a professional. It's extra energy. If you think that this is zero energy and it's just working by itself or life is on the zero, let's say, no, it's not. It's extra energy to push it away and to suppress any emotional mental experience that you're having at this moment. Which of these 3 traps have you fallen into? I mean, we're all guilty here. We have done at least one of them many times of our life because we don't know. We don't know that this backfires. We don't know that this is something that doesn't help. That's even though we think that it helps, actually it doesn't. If you're struggling with symptoms of burnout, have a look at the link below and you're going to see the waiting list for my group burnout recovery program from depleted to radiant. The doors will open in September and we will start with a new cohort there. So make sure that you're on the waiting list. If you cannot wait until September and you want to start working with me earlier, send me a personal message and let's book a call so that we can see how I can help you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for taking care of your health. Take it as seriously as it is. It is really serious. Working our way through it will not lower the stress. Actually, it will maintain the stress, not to say that maybe it will also increase the stress levels. So we need to go to stress coping mechanisms, which have to do with a completely set of skills that we need to develop. And we're going to talk about that next. Not talking about it also doesn't help, and suppressing it. It actually helps even more when we reach out to people, even friends or family members, or to a professional, and we start talking about the worries, the fears, the stress, and the stressors that we experience. And then we notice the relief. We notice that we are lighter. We notice that there's more space inside us. So let's talk about that in next videos, but also feel free to book a call with me and also register for the waiting list for the burnout group burnout recovery program that starts in September. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take good care of yourself and see you soon.